Today, I am answering the most asked questions about Cricut Design Space. I am not a techie person. You can ask my husband, but if I can figure it out, I can absolutely help you too. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna bring you around, I'm gonna share my computer screen with you so you can see exactly what it is I'm talking about. I'm also gonna share some really fun and cute projects with you so you can see hands-on how I implement all of these things that I'm sharing with you. I would like to thank Cricut for sponsoring today's video. Now let's get right into it. So right when you open up Design Space, this is what it looks like. You're gonna go into a new project. If you don't know what Design Space is, this is the program where you do all of your designing, whether you're uploading your own images or you're using the images that Cricut provides for you. Cricut does have an online membership that you can use called Cricut Access. It starts at $7.99 a month. That's what I've been using for years. I absolutely love it. And anytime you see that little bitty A, that means it's all part of that access. And that is what I will be using to demonstrate all of these different projects in this video. I will also be showing how you can upload your own images, like my youngest son's favorite sidekick, Diesel. Isn't he adorable? That's coming later in the video, so hang tight. So I get asked, how do you size your words and your pictures correctly? And I'm going to share with you multiple ways in this video. One of the ways that I do it is I use either a tape measure or a ruler, and I make sure that I know exactly what size I need for the item that I'm putting it on. After that, I go into Design Space and I will go in with whatever shape that I'm doing. So in this case, I chose a square and I picked out a square, and then I went up to the top and I'm sizing this out to be a 4.5 by a 4.5 because that was the size that my square measured out to be. I lightened it up just because it makes it a whole lot easier to see while I'm working with it. After that, I clicked on images on the left-hand side, and then you see where it says operation type. I clicked on cut only. This is a new feature in Design Space, and I love that I could select that. Then I typed in the girl runs on. I meant to type in this, but that's okay. I scrolled, and then I saw this girl runs on caffeine and sarcasm, and I selected that. I love this, and this makes a really great inspiration. You could just go with it, select it, size it, be done. But I wanted to show you how I can take something and be inspired by it, but tweak it just ever so slightly and make it a little bit more my own. So here I'm choosing a little bit of a different font than what they had originally. I went in, and one of my favorite fonts that Cricut has is called 4 Seasons. So I'm typing that in and selecting that font, and I'm using 4 Seasons for the entire thing. What I do is I unlock the font, and then I can stretch that font out and shrink it and make it work for me. I do the exact same thing with runs on, and because I can size it again to make it a little bit smaller and squattier, it almost makes it look like a different font. And then I chose to use Diet Coke over caffeine, a little bit more personal, but I love it. It had a banner, so I went back into images, I typed in banner, and I scrolled down until I found a banner that I liked, selected the banner I wanted, and then fit that into the area that I wanted. Now this brings me to the next question I get asked all the time. How do you curve your words? It's really simple. First, you want to make sure that you have selected the word that you want curved. And then at the very top, you see up here, it says curve. You're going to select that, and then you can curve that word up or down and give it as much of a curve as you want. To finish out my little sign, I went ahead and added in the symbol for and I substituted out crafting for sarcasm. Now I want to share with you a very similar sign, but a little tweak. This time I decided to stick with the word caffeine, but I really wanted to stand out by making it a different font, and I wanted to use a script or cursive font. And this brings me to another question. How do you connect cursive letters? It's really so simple. So to start off with, you want to go up to the top where it says line space and start just moving those closer together. And then you're going to go up to the top right, and where it says ungroup those. And then individually, you are going to slide your letters over. If you slide your letters too far over, let me show you what can happen. So once you have all your letters together, you're going to first group them, and then you're at the top, and then you're going to go to the bottom right where it says weld, and you're going to weld your letters together. Look what happens if they got too close. You end up with some black inside your holes. We don't want that. So you need to go back, undo it, ungroup it, and then you need to separate your letters. That means one of the lines from one letter happened to get into that hole, and you don't want that. So once you got that all adjusted and fixed,
Then you're going to go back, you're going to group all of that together again at the top. So connect that, group it, and then go to that bottom and weld. Welding is the part you don't want to miss. That is the part that seals it up. Think welding like metal, it connects it forever. You need to weld it. I finished up the second sign and I quickly put together a third sign as well. And now it is time for me to cut these. And that brings me to my next question. How do you layer multiple colors of vinyl? I'm going to show you how I do it with regular vinyl as well as iron-on vinyl. I know that there are multiple ways to do it, but I'm going to share with you how I do it. To start off with, I like to go into shapes and I like to choose a shape that has great edges. So hexagon, star, diamond, it doesn't matter. Just choose a favorite shape. And then you are going to duplicate it for the number of colors that you have. So in this case, I have 2 colors. You also need to make sure that your colors match. So I needed a black hexagon and a green hexagon as well. But whatever colors you're working with, make sure your hexagons match those colors. Once I've done that, I move the wording away from the banner. And now I'm just playing with my green hexagon and my green banner. That hexagon needs to be out of the way because it's really not part of your image. It's just there as a placement holder. After that, I select them and then I go to the bottom and I hit attach. Now I can move my wording back, get it aligned up where I want it. Then I put the black hexagon right on top of that green. I then move the green banner and hexagon out of the way, select all the wording with that black hexagon, and then I hit attach at the bottom. Once I go to hit make it, you will see that everything looks great. It's on 2 mats. I have the black on one mat and the green on another mat. And I will show you in just a minute how it all comes together when you put it together. After they cut, it's time to weed. Once you get them all weeded, I like to put them on the same transfer tape when I have multiple colors. So I'm starting off with the green banner. I laid that down. I put it in the center of the transfer tape because I know that will give me plenty of room when I add the wording. When I go to add the wording, I'm using that hexagon to help guide me. In this case, really, the banner is there, but if you were working with something that was a little bit more complex than this, then the hexagon really would come in handy. Once I get them both on that transfer tape, then it's really easy for me to apply it to my board, and then this is all done. Super easy. So now I'm going to take one of these designs and I'm going to show you how I would do it if I was using Cricut's iron-on. In Design Space, I love that it gives you 2 reminders to make sure that you are mirroring your iron-on image. First, before you even choose your material, and the second is after you choose your material. Once you've done that, then you're ready to cut. Once it's cut, then you're ready to weed, and I actually really love weeding iron-on vinyl. It's just so satisfying. It's not sticky like your traditional vinyl, so it really kind of is almost like think of it like a balloon. It has almost that rubbery texture to it. It's really unique. But because it's not sticky, I don't have to set like a place mark like I do with a more traditional vinyl. You can layer it as you add on, and I'll show you exactly what I mean when I'm working with multicolors with an iron-on. If you didn't know it, you can absolutely iron on wood. It's one of my favorite things to do, and I'm using Cricut's Easy Press 2 to do it. So here I have the words. I'm going to start out with the text first, and I'm using some iron-on tape that Cricut does sell to hold this in place. So I'm putting that down first. I'm going in with the settings that I can find on Cricut.com for the Easy Press, and I iron on the text first. After that, I go in with the banner, and like I said, it is not sticky. Now, iron-on does come with its own transfer tape. You do not have to add any transfer tape with it. It's part of what comes with your iron-on vinyl. So I get it in place. I use a little bit more of that heat transfer tape, actually the same piece I had used earlier to hold it in place. And then a little piece of Teflon. I cover it all up. That is protecting both my iron and the previous iron-on. Place the iron down, let it do its job, and then this little sign is done. Easy breezy. Now you've seen 2 different ways to do layer of coloring. What do you think? When I'm working with something that's a little bit more odd, again, I still use my tape measure to help me out. And in this case, I can see that I have a piece that looks more like a rectangle, and then this curved piece, I can go in with a circle to help me get the effect that I'm looking for. And let me show you what I do. So I first go into shapes and I select a square and I size that to fit the rectangle size of my wooden piece. After that, I get a circle and I size that to fit so that the rounded part will fit the rounded part of my wooden piece as well. And then I center that so that it looks like a similar shape to that wood piece that I had. Now to make this so that it all stays together, I hit weld at the bottom and now it is one solid piece. Now I can start creating whatever images I want on it. After that, I quickly designed a couple really cute little images that would fit on this using Cricut's images that they already have in Design Space. I love that I have so many different ones available to me that I can just mix and match and come up with different things that I really like. After I had done that, my son, my 14-year-old, walked through the room. He happened to really love one of them that he thought would be a really cool t-shirt. So I'm going to share with you a question that I get, which is how do you cut and paste from one canvas to another? Like I said, my son really loved the Explore the Outdoors. So all you have to do is go to the top, click copy, and then you're going to go to the left and click new. Make sure you have saved if you need to. You're going to be on a new screen now, and you're going to go back up to edit, and you're going to click paste this time. And there you have it. You have now copied and paste. Now I'm going to go to templates because I'm going to do a shirt, but look at all these different template options you have. If you didn't know this was here, this is a gem. So many different options. I just need a shirt, so I'm going to type in shirt at the top. Just a classic tee, so I'm going to select that. Now what is great about this as well is you can also select sizing in this. My son happens to be a men's small, so that's what came up, but look at all the different sizes you have. You can even customize it, but you have men's, women's, kids, toddlers, baby. It really is such a really great asset to have this. Once you have your template, go ahead and size to the size that you want it. I want this pretty large. He's a pretty big kid, so I really filled out that chest size. Then you're going to go ahead and make it. Remember, this is an iron-on. You want to mirror that image, and then you are ready to go. Because this is really big, I do need to pull out my 12 by 24 mat, but it reminds me about that. Again, I love that about Design Space. It will remind you of those little things, and that's what makes this so user-friendly. If you're new to Cricut Design Space, I really strongly suggest starting out with using just one color of vinyl. I think it's a lot easier to simplify and keep it to one color. You'll find that you're a lot less stressed out, but you still get a very beautiful design at the end of the day. I really love the way that this turned out. My son really loves the way that this turned out, and honestly, as a mom, that's kind of all that matters. I've had so many questions about how to upload into the Design Space, so let me show you how. You're going to start on your canvas, and then on the bottom left where you see upload, that's what you're going to click. And then it takes you to the screen, and then you see where it says upload image. It also tells you exactly what kind of images it will take. Once you click on that, you can either drag and drop or you can browse. Then you can just go through your files here. You can do it on your desktop. You can do it in documents. You can go through photos, whatever you want. I'm going to select a few photos here, and then I'm going to take it back. Well, once you get here, you want to make sure that you select complex image because you want the best quality. Once you selected that, now if you want to keep everything in there, you can, but normally you just want a specific image. So the buttons on the top are your erase buttons. Well, my picture is kind of busy because of all the grass, so I can't just easily hit the magic button and it disappears. If you have a less busy picture, that will work. It took care of my sidewalk, so I'm going to have to go in painstakingly and erase. So when I go into erase, I like to get really close to my object, as close as I can at first with like as big as a brush stroke and kind of go around. And then I will zoom in and get a little bit closer and get more of it. So as I'm painstakingly erasing the entire background, I won't make you sit through that, but just know the erase button is right here. Erase everything you don't need. Once you've erased it all, then go ahead and hit that little green button on your right. I'm combining my next two questions. How do you print and cut, and how do you make stickers? Once you've selected that, you see now you have a choice between just an all cut file or a print and cut file. Once you choose the print and cut file, that will be in your uploaded files, and it will be ready for you to print and cut when you select that. Now, here you see all my different uploaded files. Anytime I select uploaded, all of these are available to me at any time. So let's go back to the canvas. So I'm going to choose to get out a square, and I'm going to size it to an 8.5 by 11, a regular sheet of paper, because that's what can fit through my printer. And then I'm going to start picking some of my images for print and cut or to create stickers. And here I got my son's favorite little sidekick, Diesel, and I am shrinking him to size. Now Cricut now has a brand new feature. It's an offset button at the very top. This is going to outline or put an outline around your image. I like to size it to 1.25 or 0.125. Hit apply. It's always dark, so go select that offset on the right hand side and turn it white. Then select the offset and the image and go to the bottom right and flatten the two together. And that will make it so that the two items will stay together and you can print and cut them together. Super important when you are making stickers. If you hit attach, you will lose the picture of that image. I hope that makes sense. It will become one solid color. So you don't want to hit attach, you want to hit flatten. Okay, again, you're going to take offset first, 0.125, make it white, take your image and your offset and hit flatten. You can do the exact same thing with all the images that Cricut has as well, and it's super easy to do. I did some for my daughter and my oldest son. I thought that they would really enjoy. Once I had all the stickers that I wanted to put on one sheet, you do need to take into account that you can't fill up an entire sheet, because in order to cut, you do need to have room for the registration marks, which that's just the rectangle that goes around it so that the Cricut knows exactly where to cut. I have a total of 10 stickers here. I did rather large stickers. Had I done smaller stickers, I definitely could have got some more. Once you're completely satisfied with what you got here, you can go ahead and hit send to printer. So at the top you can see my printer. I always leave the add bleed, and then I can hit print. After that, I select the material that I'm using, which is printable sticker white paper. I send that through my Cricut machine. First it has to register, and then it will cut. So it does take a little bit longer than a traditional cut, but once it's done, and I love this. This is just so fun. My daughter now wants to make stickers of everything. I quickly turned one of the stickers into a bookmark for my son as a little surprise. So many different ways to use these stickers.
There's another great Cricut video that I picked out for you. I hope that you will hit that subscribe button if you learned something new or saw something that you liked. I will see you in the next one. Bye.